Imagine booting up an old-school arcade cabinet, or your dusty NES, and suddenly being blown away by graphics and gameplay that felt way too advanced for the 1980s. Back then, most games were blocky pixels and simple sounds, but a handful of titles pushed the limits so far they looked almost unreal for their time. These were the games that made players say, "Wait, this is possible already." Let's check out 10 insanely realistic 80s games that were ahead of the curve.
Dragon's Lair, a fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight on a quest to rescue the fair princess from the clutches of an evil dragon.
Dragon's Lair. Imagine you wandered into an arcade and your eyes landed on Dragon's Lair, a game so wild it hardly felt real back then. You didn't just play, you became Dirk the Daring, a not-so-fearless knight battling wacky monsters and ducking insane death traps to save the ever-glamorous Princess Daphne. It looked like a cartoon come alive, with crazy smooth animation and bright visuals that made every other game feel like ancient history. The controls were deceptively simple. Swing Dirk's sword or pick a direction, but man, you'd pay for every mistake with a hilarious death scene. The game was unforgiving, and it chewed up those small handfuls of quarters, yet dying over and over was somehow part of the fun. With stunning hand-drawn art from the legendary Don Bluth, Dragon's Lair delivered a legit animated adventure in the form of a video game, setting the bar jaw-droppingly high for the rest of the decade's arcade hits. Prince of Persia. Even if platformers were everywhere, Prince of Persia felt like stepping into a secret world filled with danger and acrobatics on a whole new level. The smooth and lifelike way the prince moves is mind-blowing. He actually runs, jumps, climbs and fights like a real person, which back then was practically unheard of in gaming. Every leap over a deadly pit or tense sword duel with a guard has a weight and precision that other games just faked with stiff, jerky animations. Rotoscoping turned simple sprite movement into a mini-action movie, making you feel every risk and blessing when a jump landed perfectly. But it's not just about pixels. Every spike trap, swinging blade, and collapsing platform keeps players genuinely sweating, while the health system means one bad slip can send the prince to a very realistic game over. Prince of Persia set out to thrill, and it totally nailed that edge-of-your-seat feeling. Mega Man 2. Have you ever sunk into a challenge so perfectly balanced that it kept you coming back, even after endless defeats? Mega Man 2 is that kind of experience. You step into the shiny boots of the Blue Bomber, and the world basically throws 8 wild robot bosses your way, each guarding their own trap-filled stages packed with surprises. The genius of the game isn't just fighting those wild robot masters. It's snatching up their weapons and figuring out which power totally obliterates the next guy. There's a slick energy tank system too, letting you refill your health for those sweaty, edge-of-your-seat moments when victory's in sight but danger's everywhere. Crazy platform gadgets get added to your arsenal, opening brand new ways to tackle the notoriously tough Dr. Wily's fortress. With every blast, jump and lucky save, Mega Man 2 somehow turns frustration and fast-paced battles into pure gaming magic. It honestly defines the retro action platformer vibe. Starflight. When players dove into Starflight for the first time, it was like launching themselves into uncharted territory with almost unlimited freedom and possibilities. The game didn't hold your hand. Every decision mattered, From assembling your crew with their quirky alien personalities to kitting out your starship and plotting a course across hundreds of planets and star systems, you could spend hours just mining minerals and collecting odd life forms before hopping into wild diplomacy encounters with weird alien races, where a single word or movement could kick off galactic peace or full-blown combat. That open-ended design put you in full command, letting exploration, mystery and choice drive a massive sandbox adventure. The storyline lurking in the background unfolded as you uncovered ancient secrets and faced the mind-bending truth about the sentient fuel you'd been burning to travel across space. Starflight didn't just simulate outer space. It made every player feel like a genuine captain on an epic sci-fi journey. Hang On. All right, Hang On wasn't just another racing game. It was the real deal for thrill seekers hunting arcades in the mid-80s. Instead of button mashing, you actually had to hop onto a motorcycle cabinet and lean your whole body into those wild curves, making the game feel like a legit test of nerve and skill. Every race hit you with a blast of speed, tight turns, and rival bikers chasing that elusive finish line. And the graphics were smooth enough to blow minds back then. The physical controls made you feel like Freddie Spencer tearing up a Grand Prix track. And let's be honest, no one forgot the cool, rock-infused soundtrack blasting in the background. Hang On's immersive setup basically started the whole motion simulator trend in arcades, making every checkpoint split-second and every win way more intense than your typical joystick ride. It was pure adrenaline from coin drop to the final stretch. A true classic for the arcade faithful. SimCity. Do you ever wonder what it feels like to be the mastermind behind an entire city, pulling every string and making every big decision? SimCity hands you that power from the start, letting you zone neighborhoods, lay out roads, drop power lines, and balance important stuff like traffic, pollution, and the never-ending money grind. Instead of chasing high scores or defeating bosses, all the drama comes from building, expanding, and handling wild disasters like fires, floods, or even the occasional monster attack. Your tiny citizens react to every move, demanding solutions for traffic, tax rates, and their quality of life. The best part? There's no right way to win. Just experiment, tweak, and watch as your city grows or crumbles, full of hilarious surprises and tough lessons. SimCity wasn't just entertaining, it was the birth of real simulation gaming, forcing players to think about how cities truly work and survive. Microsoft Flight Simulator. Suppose you're sitting in front of your old-school computer, keyboard at the ready, imagining what it might be like to truly fly a plane, even if you've never even set foot in a cockpit before. Microsoft Flight Simulator dropped that experience straight into your lap, letting you play around with weather settings, choose between different cities, and even take on wild World War I dogfights in a biplane. It wasn't just about flying, it was about mastering every beep and button in a cockpit, memorizing landmarks, and learning what real pilots deal with when plotting a course or dodging clouds. The whole thing felt impossibly complicated at first, but before long, anyone could get the hang of taking off, cruising, and landing with surprising realism for such ancient tech. Microsoft's first flight sim made everyone feel like a genuine pilot, opening up a new world for gamers who craved skill, challenge, and a different kind of adventure. MIDI Maze. Let's jump straight into MIDI Maze. A game that basically took the classic maze formula and turbocharged it into something no one expected. Picture this. You're a colourful smiley face rolling through endless corridors, but that's just the start. The real twist comes when you link up to 15 more Atari ST computers through their MIDI ports, creating a wild multiplayer deathmatch frenzy way before that became the norm. Every smiley you spot might be a buddy or a rival, and battles break out in real time as you zip around, blasting spheres at each other through first-person 3D mazes. The movement's smooth, the action is pure mayhem, and with everyone sharing one network loop, things get chaotic fast. The master machine sets everything up, teams, maps and rules, and you can even build custom mazes for endless replay. Long before LAN parties, MIDI Maze gave gamers a taste of face-to-face FPS action nobody saw coming. Outrun. Ever try blasting down an endless highway with the wind whipping through your hair and your favourite jam pumping on the radio? Outrun completely nails that road trip fantasy and then cranks it to 11. You're not just driving a flashy red sports car, you're racing against the clock, dodging civilian traffic and making split-second choices at every fork in the road. The feeling of speed is absolutely wild, to the point where the vibrating cabinet, shifting gears, and steering wheel feedback gave players goosebumps. Outrun tossed you into some beautiful locations, from sunny beaches to mountain curves, and delivered them with graphics so smooth and colourful that it felt like a dream compared to other arcade racers. The pick-your-own soundtrack system was pure 80s magic, turning each run into a personalised joyride. Outrun's sheer sense of freedom, speed and style made it legendary, a true icon that changed racing games forever. Pole position. Isn't it wild how pole position raced into the arcades and instantly set the standard for every driving game that followed? Hopping behind the wheel felt insanely authentic. From the real Formula One vibes to mastering those hairpin corners and punching the accelerator at just the right moment. The game demanded not just speed, but skill. You had to qualify with a fast lap before getting to challenge a pack of rival cars head-to-head on the digital Fuji Speedway. Every crash, spin-out or collision sent your car flying and cost you valuable time, making every second count on the track. Steering wheels, pedals and shifting gears brought next-level realism, pushing players into immersion territory unheard of for this era. Pole position rewarded sharp reflexes, steady nerves, and a willingness to risk everything for a shot at glory. Its legendary reputation wasn't just hype, it changed what people expected from racing games forever. Looking back, these insanely realistic 80s games didn't just entertain, they set the stage for gaming's future by going way too hard on graphics, gameplay, and immersion. Whether it was seamless animation, wild simulations, or epic multiplayer action, they kept surprising players with features no one thought were possible back then. It's wild how much these classics influenced everything that came after and still blow minds today.